do arise, there are several venues for resolving employee concerns. Brian Schaefer is an attorney with Fidapelli and Schaefer, and he joins us now to talk about sexual harassment in the workplace. Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
These are not easy cases to prove, as someone might think, are they?
They're definitely not easy to prove. The plaintiff definitely has an uphill battle. The burdens are on her to prove that the conduct occurred and that she complained about the conduct, and any resulting retaliation or issues that resulted from her complaining about the conduct.
And typically, especially with sexual harassment cases, a lot of this happens between two people in the privacy of an office, a hallway, sometimes even a restroom. And there often aren't witnesses to these kinds of conversations. So that even raises the level even more higher in terms of proving it.
Yes, I mean, it is difficult. What a client or a plaintiff should do is really document every single instance of the alleged harassment. Even if she writes it down, in a journal, emails it to herself, and what she should really ultimately do is every single complaint should be forwarded to the appropriate human resources individual.
Yeah. In a federal facility, I want to talk about the difference between federal and private employers. But one of the problems that I know that federal employees have in terms of documenting, they can't do things like videotape. It's illegal for them to videotape in a federal facility, especially the post service facilities. So that right then, it's difficult for them to kind of try to get the goods on somebody who's harassing them that way.
It is difficult, but they should really document everything, keep notes and keep sending, don't feel like you're being a burden, just you're doing what you're supposed to do to enforce your rights, and really send these complaints to human resources and put the burden on them to really act on what you're claiming.
We think we're past the days that you see in shows like Mad Men, where bosses can get away with anything they want, from making suggestions to touching their female employees. But it's still happening a lot, isn't it?
I think it is still happening. Unfortunately, even though everyone at this point is aware of sexual harassment being wrong, people, men typically in positions of power, really disregard the law, and they really do think that they're above the law, and especially because these are employees who really are insubordinate to them, that they'll get away with it.
Yeah. Now, if you are working for a private company and you feel like you have a case, you can go straight to the EEOC and file, and they will investigate. If you are a federal employee, you have to complain to your manager. You can go to your EEO counselor. They try to work things out. Federal agencies are self-policing on this, though. They do their own investigation. Isn't that kind of like if Sears would do their own policing, or Walmart on this? I mean, it's still the same company investigating their own, and if all these managers are buddies and doing the similar thing, it's going to be a difficult egg to crack for the employee.
I think at that stage you are correct that since you're complaining internally and they're interviewing and really doing their own investigation, it's going to be tough to prevail. However, even if they find no wrongdoing, someone can go and file a private cause of action in court.
Right. You can get an administrative hearing. Unfortunately, in Cheryl Carroll's case, her EEO counselor, she said, never told her she had that option. So she had to take it to the suit. So you're still dependent upon the advice you're getting from the EEO counselor at the agency where you're working. Do you think it's fair to have two different systems like this, or should the federal system be like the private system?
I think it should absolutely be like the private system. I mean, I don't know why there is a separate system. I mean, frankly, it makes it more difficult, and there's really no reason.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, this is a story we're going to continue to cover here at CBS2. Brian Schaefer, thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
Very much appreciated. When we come back, for the first